S. Brahman principles. I have heard that on one occasion the Blessed One was staying near Savatthi in Jita's grove, Anthapikya's monastery. Then many Kosalan Brahmins of great means, old, aged, advanced in years, having come to the last stage of life, approached the Blessed One. On arrival, they exchanged courteous greetings with him. After an exchange of friendly greetings and courtesies, they sat to one side. As they were sitting there, they said to him, Master Gautama, do Brahmins at present live in conformity with the Brahman principles of ancient Brahmins?
No, Brahmins. Brahmins at present don't live in conformity with the Brahman principles of ancient Brahmins. It would be good if Master Gautama described the Brahman principles of ancient Brahmins, if it wouldn't burden him. In that case, Brahmins, listen and pay close attention. I will speak. As you say, Master, the Brahmins of great means responded to the Blessed One.
The Blessed One said, Seers, before, were austere and restrained in mind, abandoning the 5 strings of sensuality. They practiced for their own benefit. They had no cattle, no gold, no wealth. They had study as their wealth. They protected the Brahma treasure. They did not despise what was prepared for them. Food set at doors, prepared out of conviction. For those who seek
prosperous lands and kingdoms. Honored Brahmins with multicolored clothes, bedding, and dwellings. Brahmins. Protecting their principles. Protected by law. Were not to be violated. Not to be beaten. No one could block them from the doors of any home.
4 years, young Brahmins followed the holy life. Brahmins of old practiced the search for knowledge and conduct. Brahmins went to no other caste, nor did they buy their wives. Living together from mutual love. Having come together, they found joy together. Aside from the time after menstruation, Brahmins didn't engage in copulation.
They praised the holy life, virtue. Being straightforward, mild, austere, composed, harmless, enduring. The foremost Brahmin among them. Firm in perseverance. Didn't engage in copulation. Even in a dream.
Those imitating his practice praised the holy life, virtue, and endurance. They asked for rice, bedding, cloth, butter and oil. Having collected all that, in line with rectitude, from that, they performed the sacrifice.
And in setting up the sacrifice, they didn't harm cows. Like a mother, father, brother, or other relative. Cows are our foremost friends. From them comes medicine.
They give food, strength, beauty, and happiness. Knowing this line of reasoning, they didn't harm cows. Delicate, with large bodies. Beautiful, prestigious. Brahmins were committed to standards of what should and shouldn't be done, in line with their principles.
As long as this lasted in the world, humanity prospered in happiness. But a perversion came among them. Seeing, little by little, the splendor of kings, women well ornamented, chariots yoked to thoroughbreds, well made, with elaborate embroideries, houses and homes, well proportioned, planned and laid out, lavish human wealth, surrounded by circles of cows, joined with groups of excellent women. The Brahmins grew greedy.
Having composed chants there, they went up to Okaka. You have much wealth and grain. Sacrifice. Much is your property. Sacrifice. Much is your wealth. Then the king, lord of charioteers, induced by the Brahmins, having performed these sacrifices,
the horse sacrifice, the human sacrifice, Samapesa, Vajapaya,
and Niraga. Gave the Brahmins wealth. Cows, bedding, clothes. Women adorned. Chariots yoked to thoroughbreds. Well made, with elaborate embroideries.
Having had delightful homes. Well proportioned, filled throughout. With various grains. He gave the Brahmins wealth. And they, receiving the wealth there, found joy together in hoarding it.
Overcome by desire. Their craving grew more. Having composed chants there, they went up to Khuddhaka again. Like water and earth, gold, wealth, and grain are cows to human beings. This is a requisite for beings.
Sacrifice. Much is your property. Sacrifice. Much is your wealth. Then the king, lord of charioteers, induced by the Brahmins, killed in a sacrifice many hundred thousands of cows.
The cows, meek like sheep, giving milk by the bucket, hadn't, with their hooves or horns or anything else, done anyone any harm. But the king, grabbing them by the horns, killed them with a knife. Then the devas, the fathers, Indra and Rakshasas, cried out,
An injustice. When the knife fell on the cows. 3 were the diseases before then: desire, hunger, and aging. But from violence against cattle came 98. This injustice of violence has come down as ancient.
the innocent are killed. The sacrificers fall away. From the Dhamma. This tradition ancient, vile, is criticized by the observant. Where people see such a thing, they criticize the sacrificer.
With the Dhamma perishing in this way, merchants are split from workers. Noble warriors are split far apart. The wife despises the husband. Noble warriors, kinsmen of Brahma, and any others protected by clan, repudiating the doctrine of their birth, fall under sensualities. Sway.
When this was said, those Brahmins of great means said to the Blessed One, Magnificent, Master Gautama. Magnificent. Just as if you were to place upright what was overturned, to reveal what was hidden, to show the way to one who was lost, or to carry a lamp into the dark so that those with eyes could see forms, in the same way has Master Gautama through many lines of reasoning made the Dhamma clear. We go to Master Gautama for refuge, to the Dhamma, and to the Sangha of monks. May Master Gautama remember us as lay followers who have gone for refuge from this day forward, for life.
Nava Sutta, a boat. Translated from the Pali by Thanissaro Bhikkhu. Translator's note: although it is often lost in translation, this poem in the Pali has a clearly articulated overall structure. The first 7 verses coming under the because, yasma, state reasons, while the last verse, under the so, tasma, draws the conclusion: find a good teacher and practice the Dhamma.
Because when you honor, as the devas, Indra, one from whom you might learn the Dhamma, he, learned, honored, confident in you, shows you the Dhamma.
You, enlightened, heedful, befriending a teacher like that, practicing the Dhamma in line with the Dhamma, pondering, giving it priority, become knowledgeable, clear-minded, wise.
But if you consort with a piddling fool, who's envious, hasn't come to the goal, you'll go to death, without having cleared up the Dhamma right here, with your doubts unresolved, like a man gone down to a river, turbulent, flooding, swift flowing, and swept away in the current. How can he help others across?
Even so, he who hasn't cleared up the Dhamma, attended to the meaning of what the learned say, crossed over his doubts, how can he get others to comprehend?
But as one who's embarked on a sturdy boat, With rudder and oars. Wood mindful, skillful. Knowing the needed techniques. Carry many others across. Even so. An attainer of knowledge, learned. Self-developed, unwavering. Can get other people to comprehend.
If they're willing to listen. Ready to learn. So. You should befriend. A person of integrity. Learned, intelligent. Practicing so. As to know the goal. When you've experienced the Dhamma. You get bliss.
Kimsala Sutta, with what virtue? Translated from the Pali by Thanissaro, Bhikkhu. Translator's note: this discourse mentions the metaphorical notion of heartwood, Sara, 3 times. Although Sara as a metaphor is often translated as essence, this misses some of the metaphor's implications. When X is said to have Y as its heartwood, that means that the proper development of X yields Y, and that Y is the most valuable part of X, just as a tree, as it matures, develops heartwood, and the heartwood is the most valuable part of the tree.
With what virtue? What behavior? Nurturing what actions? Would a person become rightly based and attain the ultimate goal? One should be respectful of one's superiors and not envious. Should have a sense of the time for seeing teachers. Should value the opportunity when a talk on Dhamma's in progress. Should listen intently to well-spoken words. Should go at the proper time, humbly, casting off stubbornness to one's teacher's presence. Should both recollect and follow the Dhamma, its meaning, restraint, and the holy life.
Delighting in Dhamma. Savoring Dhamma. Established in Dhamma. With a sense of how to investigate Dhamma. One should not speak in ways destructive of Dhamma. Should guide oneself with true, well-spoken words.
Shedding. Laughter, chattering. Lamentation, hatred. Deception, deviousness. Greed, pride. Confrontation, roughness. Astringency, infatuation. One should go about free of intoxication. Steadfast within.
Understanding's the heartwood of well-spoken words. Concentration, the heartwood of learning and understanding. When a person is hasty and heedless, his discernment and learning don't grow, while those who delight in the doctrines taught by the noble ones are unexcelled in word, action, and mind.
They, established in calm, composure, and concentration, have reached what discernment and learning have as their heartwood.
Adhana Sutta, Initiative. Translated from the Pali by Thanissaro Bhikkhu. Get up. Sit up. What's your need for sleep? And what sleep is there for the afflicted? Pierced by the arrow. Oppressed.
Get up. Sit up. Train firmly for the sake of peace. Don't let the king of death, seeing you heedless, deceive you, bring you under his sway. Cross over the attachment to which human and heavenly beings remain desiring. Tied.
Don't let the moment pass by. Those for whom the moment is past grieve, consigned to hell. Heedless is dust, dust comes from heedlessness. Has heedlessness on its heels. Through heedfulness and clear knowing, you'd remove your own sorrow. Ruler.
From living with him often. Do you not despise the wise man? Is the one who holds up the torch for human beings honored by you? From living with him often. I don't despise the wise man. The one who holds up the torch for human beings is honored by me.
Abandoning the 5 strings of sensuality.
endearing, charming. Going forth from home. Through conviction. Be one who puts an end to suffering and stress.
Cultivate admirable friends. And an isolated dwelling. Secluded, with next to no noise. No moderation in eating. Robe, alms food. Requisites, dwellings. Don't create craving for these. Don't be one who returns to the world. Restrained in the Pimaka. And the 5 faculties.